Hello everybody, welcome to Monday Morning Must Knows. My name is Merlin Ralphfield and we have some very exciting things to talk about for the upcoming trading week. But first, let's look at what happened last week. Boy, we talked about the CPI numbers, the PPI numbers, and both of those coming out rather disappointing, which sheds a lot of, questions on what's going to be happening for the upcoming trading week. Why is that? Well, of course, we have the all-important Mr. Jerome Powell will be speaking, and that's where we're going to start our Monday Morning Must Knows. We start things off with central banks, and of course, when we say central banks, the biggest in the world, the U.S. Federal Reserve, the FOMC will be meeting on Wednesday with a rate statement expected at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there's a lot of speculation about what that rate increase might be. Ranges go from 50 basis points all the way up to 1 full percentage point. I'll show you those stats here in just a second. But as you can see, right now the expectations that we have on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be an increase of 75 basis points going from 2.5% up to 3.25%. Now, that's extremely important, but what's also very important will be the press conference that is shortly after that at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's where Jerome Powell will be pontificating and giving his thoughts and ideas about why they decided to raise, maybe what the issues are for our markets going forward, and that becomes incredibly important for traders and market volatility. That said, you can expect that right around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there will be a tremendous amount of volatility. We like to call that whiplash, where things just go back and forth with wild moves. Probably best to stay on the sidelines and watch it before jumping in and getting caught up in some of that action. Now, let's look at the speculation about what's going to be happening or expected to happen with regards to rates on Wednesday. Here you can see from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, these are the FOMC futures contracts, and basically they're called the Fed Funds futures. Right now you can see two gigantic columns there. Well, one's gigantic and one's kind of small. What it's showing you is what the futures, what the traders are betting on with regards to rate increases on Wednesday. Right now, there's an 86% chance that we're going to see a 75 basis point increase on Wednesday. And you notice over there, a 14% chance that we're going to get a full 1% increase by the Fed at this meeting on Wednesday. Now, of course, these can change, and they do change rapidly, but at the time of recording of this, these are the numbers that we were seeing. Now, what does it mean for the markets going forward? Again, lots of volatility. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we do know that we are in a global war. Not your conventional war, it's a currency war, which means more central banks are loading up with ammunition trying to save their economies. And of course, we'll look at that announcement right now because we have more central banks. 3 more to speak of. Bank of Japan will be coming out on Wednesday. They are right now at negative 0.1%, and they're expected to stay right there. We don't know the time yet. It's tentative, but it should be happening on Wednesday as well. What makes this one rather interesting is how brutal the price chart of the Japanese yen has been. It is down 27% in the last 6 months. That's an incredible decline in the value of the Japanese yen, which many economists believe that might be good for their economy. Well, we'll have to see what they say about it going forward at that announcement, hopefully this Wednesday. But wait, there's more. We talk about the Swiss National Bank. The SNB will be coming out with a rate announcement. And drum roll, please, this is where it gets really interesting. They have been at negative for quite some time. They were at negative 75 basis points, which basically means you're losing money by keeping your money in a savings account. They're expected now to go from negative 25 basis points to a positive 50. So a 75 basis point increase for Swiss National Bank expected Thursday at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But wait, there's more. Yes, the final one we'll be announcing is the Bank of England, the old BOE. They have been raising aggressively as well. They're expected to jump 50 basis points from 1.75 to 2.25 on Thursday, and that will be at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That one is particularly interesting because it happens right before the U.S. equity markets open. So something to pay attention to there. If you're trading those currencies, we've seen incredible declines in the British pound as well. We're coming near lows that it has not seen since 1985. Yeah, that's a long, long time. So a lot of weakness in the pound, and of course, these central bankers are going to try to manipulate their currency even more going forward. Now, there is still more data to speak of for our final third piece of the Monday Morning Must Knows, and that, of course, is going to be looking at services and manufacturing. I say, of course. You're like, wait a minute, services and manufacturing, that's not that important. Well, it really is. Services, particularly in the U.S., have been one of the major drivers of our economy. And Friday, there's major announcements, not just from the U.S., but from all over the world. We'll start things off Friday at early in the morning for you early birds, 3:15 a.m. You get France with their services and manufacturing numbers. Shortly after that, at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, Germany comes out with their numbers. But wait, there's more. Let's throw it all together and get the whole representation of the EU. That's at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we keep on rolling. That's right. England will be coming out at 4:30 a.m. with their services and manufacturing. And finally, the big daddy, which is going to impact the U.S. equity markets the most, the U.S. 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 15 minutes into the market session. We will get that services and manufacturing number released, which could add an air of volatility to those markets. Now, there's a lot of stuff happening this week. Of course, most of the attention will be on Wednesday's announcement with the FOMC and exactly what they are saying there with regards to rates and how aggressive they will be. Tons of speculation at this point. Hopefully, that Wednesday meeting will calm some of these unknowns, the FUD, right? The fear, uncertainty, and doubt, kind of appease that a little bit with the decisions and comments that are made on Wednesday. But right now, we just don't know exactly which way it's going to go. Be careful out there, have a plan in place, and always err on the side of risk management. That, my friends, is Monday Morning Must Knows. We'll see you next week.